Welcome back to the ALG podcast. I am your co-host, Jay Arps Journey, otherwise known as John Arpino. I'm joined alongside my other co-host, Fit_D-Rock David Roden. And today we have a very special guest, the Oreo eating, cardio killing kid on Instagram from Florida. It's, well, you know who it is. It's Porro 92.
Wait, let me get this straight. So you eat Oreos, so are you vegan?
I've tried a couple vegan dishes, but I'm open to play any position on the field. Okay, I've done a couple vegan meals, but definitely nah. I'm the chicken and rice guy with Oreos in between.
Ooh, love it.
You know.
So what's going on, Papa?
Just living in South Florida where I can go to the gym. I know you boys can't, so. I'm living for you,
man. Just
yeah, right.
I haven't been to the gym in 10.
1 minute in, and he's already taking a dig. All right,
he's already throwing haymakers. I haven't been to a physical gym in 10 weeks. Literally,
it's rough.
After I tore my knee a year ago. I was in the gym 2 days later.
Yeah,
this is the weirdest thing since sliced bread.
Hey, as I told you, as soon as ProFit's open, let me know and I'll drive. I'm dying for like a long road trip. I'll drive up there and I'll just walk through the doors and you'll hear the humming of Natural. And like, I'm gonna set that up as soon as you have a date. Let me know.
I'll let you know, brother. You know that. So we have asked you to be on here today because you have one of the most incredible stories on Instagram, and I think that you provide a lot of inspiration to a lot of people. So I would love to hear your story in your own words because we've heard it. I mean, we've done Fantastic 4 episodes together, but you know what? Gormy's not here, so you could curse and you could be your real self. So let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, that got me.
So, what are we starting? We starting day one? So,
just give me a little brief history. Tell me about yourself at a young age, and then we'll get to the goodies.
Let's do it. So my name for people who don't know, Alex Porro, better known as Porro 92 on the gram. And I was a pleasantly plump young gentleman. Before
don't underscore it. Say it.
Before we get to the 480 pound Alex Porro, from a very young age, I was always big. I don't like to think of it as, something like, oh, you're born for this, like, too bad,
right.
Deal with it. Food was definitely always a problem. Just like for the three of us, we're all over the 400. You don't get there by accident. So certain different circumstances, especially for you, John, with your story with medication and stuff like that. But generally speaking, we all have similar stories, but they're all very different at the same token. So growing up, again, I was always big. My immediate family, my mom, my dad, my brother, they're all on the bigger side. Mama Porro's doing her thing right now. But just making bad decisions from a very young age. Hiding food in my room. I'm talking peanut butter jars. I know something that we have in common is crumbled blue cheese, Oreos. I know I listened to David's episode and he had the, what was it, Rice Krispie treats behind the...
Oh, it was Reese's.
Behind the dry...
I was the Rice Krispie.
Oh, you were the Rice Krispie.
You were the Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
But we all had a snack drawer. Oh, I think it's something that's one thing we all have in common. So I was always predominantly somewhat athletic, or tried to be. I played youth soccer young, wasn't that good, wasn't that mobile, but hey, my nickname was Brick Wall because I was just defense, and I'm just like I wasn't agile. I wasn't agile enough to be a goalie and jump across, so I was just
you are our first.
I just imagine you as like the Penguin from Batman, just like, all right, here's the ball, and I'm gonna get it.
I just love the fact that you're our first standing guest, so it brings a whole different dynamic to the video.
Yeah, tell the people what you're standing for today.
I'm standing for Oreos. No, this is my setup. This is like the second like video podcast I did. So this is going to be exciting. This is going to be exciting. Yeah,
Hey, by the way, just so you know, we're foot fairies together then, because I played soccer for like 8 years, and I was actually
foot fairies.
We're foot fairies.
All right,
foot fairies.
All right.
And I was actually an exceptional 400-pound goalie boy. It was pretty impressive, actually.
Fellas, I was a fat kid in the 90s, and I knew better than to play soccer, all right? So you all better watch your mouth.
Listen, I tried baseball, so I'm a sports fan all around. But baseball was one of those things that I just didn't have that reaction speed. So I tried it, and I skipped straight from T-ball, and I went right into baseball, and never had a hit. They had me in right field because it's probably the least action on the field that you can get. But I had a cannon. So if it did go there, it would take me like 4 minutes to get to the ball. But if you were rounding third, I would get your ass. But I didn't have the reaction speed. Like we're going next page. We're skipping some stuff.
That's cool.
But funny story about baseball. So the only time I got on base, I got hit by a pitch. Next person got a hit. Next person got a hit. You can guess how I scored. That catcher was so scared when he saw this was probably 7th, 8th grade. So I was probably 350. The ball was coming. He was just looking at me, and the ball just went past him. He just, you know what I mean? So that was like slow motion. He saw his own funeral. So baseball didn't work out. So sports, trying to be active was always there. Obviously wasn't the best, but I tried. And, just making bad choices with food, just like we all have.
Right.
I never really knew what a calorie was. I just knew it was a label on a package of something that I was going to eat the whole thing because I didn't know what portions were. I just knew it was delicious. And
it's all the same.
Right.
Yeah, like if a box has 12 servings, no, it's a box. It's one serving. You know what I mean? Just like it's kind of it's a bad joke, but just like people who are addicted to drugs do lines of that was me with Oreos. I would do lines of Oreos. Like a package was going down, and ironically, peanut butter, baby, peanut butter.
Ooh.
You'll learn. But before it was peanut butter, before peanut butter Oreos even came out, I used to do the double stuff and dip them in peanut butter.
So the old Lindsay Lohan. Oh yeah,
that was even worse for you. But that's like another thing, like drug addiction, alcoholism, and food addiction. They're all there, but underlying those two get so much attention. But food is something that we all struggle with, and I want to say more than half of the world, I don't know the percentage, struggles with it, but it doesn't get nearly as much attention because food you actually need to thrive and survive, while, drugs and alcohol, it's kind of just for feeling.
But you weren't just an addict, you were a dealer. You were slinging sandwiches. Don't lie to the people.
Papa, I'm a hustler, okay? I might not be from New York, but
for those at home that have no idea what we're talking about, fill them in on the sandwich slinging.
So, in high school, I was literally my saying is always hungry. I'm always making moves, and in high school, I used to sell sandwiches. This was before I was old enough to get a job. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and have an assembly line. Instead of doing my meal preps like I do now, I had assembly line of not just the fattiest, I think it was like butter bread, whatever. Just butter bread. And I just did I had 3 different sandwiches. I had peanut butter Nutella, peanut butter fluff, peanut butter jelly. And then I had my specialty, which was the stuffed Porro. It was peanut butter fluff, Nutella, and crushed Oreos.
Oh my
and that was some serious stuff. And like, that's how I hustled. Like I came into school, big 300-pound boy. I'm short. I wasn't blessed with height like John. I just came in with my little duffel bag, dropped it off in the locker room. All the football players, everybody, bim, 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 done. And there was actually one instance where the principal caught me just like walking around with a duffel bag. He's like, "Yo, man, what are you doing with all them sandwiches?" I'm like, "Sir, that's my lunch." what are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say? I eat 5 sandwiches. All right,
bro. I could have 20. Like, you can't judge me. You ain't got no evidence. But so back to it. I mean, my weight was always up. I was always a fat kid. I kind of used it as like a self-defense mechanism.
right.
You know, can't make fun of me if I make fun of myself.
That's right.
And you know, it was a comfort. I don't want to say I was an emotional eater, but you know what I mean? Time would pass by and it's like, just sitting here playing Xbox, drinking Mountain Dews. I guess I could have a bag of pizza rolls right now, you know what I mean? Or a thing of cupcakes.
Right.
You just did it. It was just part of your day. It was just something. It wasn't
You were
like,
just eating to eat, you know?
Yeah.
Sheer boredom.
Exactly.
So when did you realize that your weight was a problem? Like, were you bullied like at a younger age, elementary school, middle school, or did you really start to see that your weight was a problem when you began going to high school?
So it was always there.
Right.
But again, like I really didn't let it bother me. I know you have a couple, we all have, you know, our shirtless pics.
Right.
But I know that you didn't really go to the pool without your shirt.
Right.
I never really gave a fuck.
Right.
Like, I think
couldn't do it.
I think the strongest part of me today and back then is up here. I never really gave a shit. Like, I knew it hurt. I think it hurt most when it was like little kids, because little kids, they mean that shit. Like, they're just like, wow, look at that fat boy, or you know what I mean? They just look at you like the elephant in the room, the amusement park ride.
Right.
But I literally never let it bother me. Like, we'd go on vacation and I was literally the elephant on the beach. Everybody would look. We had the little foldy chairs, and luckily it wasn't sturdy enough ground that it would break. But when I sat down, just
oh yeah, right,
it just sunk in, and then I would need a crane to come pick me up. But yeah, no, it just slowly crept up. So like freshman year of high school, I remember I was 300 pounds because I played football, wasn't that good at it. But again, I was just a body. I was just a D tackle. My job, have 3 people trying to block me. Use your weight. And then, you know, just slowly kept getting comfortable. And the weight just kept stacking on. And it would get to the point where my yearly checkups at the doctor's was kind of a guessing game, because his scale only went 350. So it was like, you know, and he was going down the list, all the stuff that's wrong with me. Luckily, you know, I never had asthma, never had diabetes, never had high blood pressure. I mean, relatively high, but I didn't have to take medication.
Right.
So there was a list, and, you know, surgery was always thrown my way. Oh, you need to have surgery. Oh, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to. I remember when I was 16, he said that I wasn't going to live to see 17. And I didn't really take that as a threat. I was just, okay, I'll see you next year, you know.
Because that's a weird thing to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's such an odd thing to hear, especially at a young age, because you really don't expect it to be true. It's just kind of words thrown at you. So you're like, yeah, you know, you're probably not, Porro, you're not going to see 18 years old. Don't even worry about it. Go home, crack open.
I'll see you next year. Exactly. So it just became comfortable. It was just, I mean, obviously I wasn't living, I was just existing, but the numbers just kept creeping up, and ultimately, literally, April 29th, 2017, that was, I don't want to say it as like a bad term or to scare anybody, but that day, I think a lot of me died. That day, stepping on the scale, seeing 480 pounds, a lot of me died. Not that I changed relatively as a person and who I am, but it was just such a moment of like, what the fuck did I do? Like, how the fuck did I get this far without ever acknowledging that it was a problem and doing anything about it, not giving a damn. So it was literally yourself? That. How?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I mean, there was no scale. I mean, it was a pallet scale. It was. I made a delivery. I still had the same job. How this job hired me at 500 pounds is beneath me. But I had a delivery to a warehouse, and I stepped on a pallet scale and I saw 480 pounds because the scales at the grocery store, a home scale, just couldn't weigh me. And just seeing that, man, I just broke down. You know, a lot of people say like an aha moment or like, this is my why. Like that day I fucking broke down. Like I went home, I was married at the time, went home, didn't talk to my wife, didn't talk to my mom. I just like went home and pretty much internally cried myself to sleep. And like the next day it was just kind of, I woke up and I flipped the switch, and I have screenshots. I DM'd a couple of the people that we all looked up to, and I literally still have those screenshots. And it was just like, how? I saw you did it. How can I do it? And it's ironic, like, you know, that kind of we're in that same position now, but I didn't know where to look. I didn't know how to start. I just wanted to start. So cold turkey, I went to the fridge, went to my pantry. Very wasteful looking at it now, but you have to do what you have to do. Like if you're an alcoholic and you're cutting out, you got to throw out all the liquor. Right. So I cleared out my pantry, cleared out my fridge, and just went on the basic chicken and broccoli diet, chicken, broccoli, water. And I think the one biggest thing that I did was cutting off the liquid calories, because I was a huge soda drinker. Mountain Dew, chocolate milk. Not Nesquik, because I wanted chocolate in my milk. I didn't want chocolate flavored water. But yeah, man, that was like my biggest thing, was just cutting that liquid calories. And I dropped 40 pounds in my very first month. And that was, like all of us, you know, it's just water weight. And once you make those huge changes into your diet, into your lifestyle, you're going to drop a lot of weight really quick. And
were you working out at this point, or it was just you just change your eating lifestyle?
So I was staying active. I lived in an apartment complex, and I would just walk the apartment complex.
Right.
And then I used to have a Samsung watch, and my goal was every night I had to see 20 flights of stairs.
Okay.
So I was just going up and down stairs at 480 pounds. It was before
right there.
Yeah.
That, and piss off some neighbors downstairs. But there was an apartment complex gym, and I didn't step in there yet because it seemed like every time I would try and go in there, there was somebody in there. That there was equipment that I couldn't fit in. The treadmill, just walking on it, felt like it was like gonna cave. So I was like, okay, let me just be outside, do what I can commit to every day. And it just started slowly adding up. And, you know, eventually I transitioned into that apartment gym. I started adding, I had no clue what I was doing. I could tell you my exact diet from back then. It was wake up, have a Premier protein shake. Like this, once you're like so into it, you remember all this stuff. I had a Premier protein shake. It was $120 protein or calories. And then that was as soon as I woke up. And then I have like 2 Dan and Light and Fit Greek yogurts, 80 calories. And then it was 3 meals throughout the day. It was just chicken and broccoli. So I was about 1,700 calories for the day. And I wasn't tracking. I didn't know what MyFitnessPal was yet. That was just what I was doing. And I think a lot of people like,
you mean this Dan and Light and Fit?
Yo, game changer. And,
100%.
You know what I mean? A lot of people like tend to overthink it, and I'm here. We're all here. Like we've been there. We're I want to say like beacons of hope, but
right.
we've been there. So if you have questions, you could ask us. But a lot of people tend to overthink it, and I didn't know what MyFitnessPal was at first. I didn't know what calories. I didn't know what a calorie deficit was. I had no clue. I just knew that shit was killing me. Let me make small changes. So I didn't follow a specific diet. I know you did like a mock keto. I know, David, you did fasting a little bit.
I've done a lot. In the last 7 years, I've done multiple programs.
Crazy stuff.
He's dipped his toe in every pool. It's crazy.
Yep. Other than vegan.
So, and I
keep saying that, but yeah, I'm good.
He wants to get beat up by a group of vegans. That's what it is.
They don't have enough.
Hey, some of it has the taste, but like the consistency. The consistency is a little funny.
For that.
But so I kind of did like the low carb mock keto in the very beginning, and then like since then to now, I'm pretty much still on like the bodybuilder-esque diet, but I've added a whole lot more of carbs, and every so often I'll have Oreos, every so often I'll have a donut, calzone, because I'm at that point now.
Right.
I was on a bulk, and then Corona happened, COVID happened, still happening. But I was out of the gym. So my intensity, even though I was doing workouts in my driveway, the intensity wasn't there. So I had to cut back a little bit. So now I'm back on it. And, you know, it's all about making those small adjustments and adapting and finding that diet that doesn't feel like a diet. It feels just like I'm eating, I'm enjoying this. I feel strong. I don't feel like I'm in jail or anything.
Right.
That anti-diet club, you know?
I love it.
So when you made the decision, after seeing that 480 pounds, and I love that statement of like, 'cause I'm a huge proponent of like, when you get that huge, emotional reaction, you make that decision, making a large movement in whatever frame of mind it is it just makes a big impact. So for you, just throwing away everything that you knew was unhealthy is a fantastic place to start, because it's just a huge emotional connection to an action. So I find that fascinating. But then afterwards, you got on that pretty much chicken and broccoli diet, throwing some carbs occasionally, cut all the crap. How long did your momentum of weight loss go? And how much weight was that first big shift? You lose 40 pounds the first month, obviously water weight and different stuff. But from that point, how long did that go for?
So I lost my weight pretty damn fast. And, I got a lot of shame for it. Not shame, but a lot of people saying like, oh, it's not sustainable. Oh, you're going to gain it back. Well, 3 years later, I'm still here. That first month I lost 40, and then it trickled. It was like 20, 15, 10, 15, 10, 10. And I only had a goal number. Like I didn't have a deadline, date or anything. I just said I wanted to hit 225. Why I picked that number, I don't know. I think that's just like a healthy
my
number.
First
so I
big
picked
one was 220.
Right.
Yeah, so 225 was that number that I wanted. And I went from 480 to 225 in 15 months.
15 months. Damn.
15 months. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just, it was hard. I mean, I made adjustments. I don't want to make it sound like I was like the lone wolf, but when I want something, like when I focus in on something, I'm going to give it all. And there's been road bumps. There's been dead ends, but I just kept pushing, and like I didn't know what I was doing. And just going from the neighborhood gym to Planet Fitness to switching my diet a little bit, just making. No, now I'm a crazy guy and I do CrossFit at 5 a.m.
Oh shoot!
And I sneak into another fancy lighting gym every so often.
He only goes for the lights. That's all he goes for is the lights.
Only for the lights. It makes you look so much bigger.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my gosh, my triceps look massive right now. What is going on?
Oh my god. Oh my yeah. And there's a trainer there that makes like cookies, like the cookie, my cookie dealer.
Yeah.
And I'm her taste tester because obviously I've been there. But no, just losing that much weight in that short of time. There's a lot of critics, and like even like my doctor was like, oh, how did you do it? Like, that's not healthy, whatever. I'm like, I was never starving myself. Like I was eating 4 to 5 meals a day. Right. I wish I could tell you how all the numbers fell. I was just on top of my water, staying active. When you're that heavy, you're going to lose it a lot faster. If, I have, and, a number is different for everybody, but I have, girls or guys, even like I had a guy who was like 205 asking me how to lose weight. I was like, how tall are you? Like, where do you want to be? Like, you're good to me. You know what I mean? But when you're at such a high number and you're trying to lose weight, it's going to move a lot faster. So it's, it's all so much different.
So what's the difference in your eating now compared to when you first got on the chicken and rice and, just the chicken and broccoli diet, like not counting the calzones and the Oreos and everything like that, but
I wish I had Oreos
I hate
right
him
now, but
because one day you'll go on Porro's Instagram, just a little side tangent. You'll go on Porro's Instagram and you'll be like, oh yeah, here he goes. He's eating chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. A fucking calzone.
I had to stop posting. I have to stop posting my treats. I don't call them treats, but I gotta stop posting those because
I call them celebration meals, baby. I own that
treats,
shit.
baby. They're treats.
I love celebration meals. I post that.
Hey,
one of my biggest regrets during my transformation that I wish I would have started from the start was not even the before and after pictures more consistently, but showing every time I had a celebration meal. Because I want to do hashtag back to four. Like my joke within my friend group was make a hashtag called hashtag back to 400 every time I had a celebration meal. And my celebration meals were savage.
I'm sure they
were. We're talking. I got one of my best friends, Luke. We were out at Mongolian barbecue.
Oh, nice.
And we're at Mongolian barbecue, and I actually my meal itself was pretty clean. But then afterwards, the people sitting next to us had a ice cream cake that it was like a birthday or whatever, and they didn't want it. And the sucker was like, I don't know, like
was it Fudgy the Whale?
I don't know what it was, but
come on.
This is me at like I'd lost like 150, 160 pounds at this point, and Luke looks at me and goes, "You think 400-pound David could take that down?" I was like, "Bitch." Easy. I can do it now.
I could do it now.
Easy. It's like, is that a challenge?
And then he goes, yeah, what's it worth to you? And I was like, he's like, if you can do it in less than 10 minutes, I'll pay for your dinner. I'm like, bitch.
Let's do it.
And I sit here
and
hammer this entire ice cream cake in like 6.5 minutes.
Wait, can I ask what the convo was like with the people who left the cake?
Like they just said they didn't want it. So they're like, hey, we don't want this ice cream cake. Do you guys
all right.
All
right. I thought you were like the former fat kid in the corner. Like if they don't take away that cake, I'm gonna
touch that ice cream cake. I'm gonna eat it. No, and so I mean, in the last 7 years, that's always the funny part to me is like this idea that you have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah, and so I love my celebration meals. Now it's kind of like Gourmet though. Like some people.
Oh, he's got us all beat.
Yeah, well,
he's got 100%. Us all beat. Have you seen his old pictures with food?
It's crazy. But just the idea that Gourmet's, at least from the, I don't know Gourmet nearly as well as you guys do, but like from the conversation we had last podcast with him, he doesn't cheat, and he doesn't celebrate. It's just because he knows himself,
right?
And he knows that's something that if he plays that game, it's like taking one hit of Coke. I can't just take one hit of Coke. Well, that's fine. That's great. Yeah. You know yourself. You can do that. For me, I enjoy that relaxation, and I can get right back on the next day. Right. That's who I am, and I know how I tick, and I've created that way of. But it depends on the person.
Right.
But it depends on.
Well, that's like me. That's a big reason why I haven't eaten real pizza in almost 5 years, because I know that I could do it, but half of me just doesn't trust myself not to kind of eat 2 pies.
And then what you're saying is all of a sudden you show up in some like New York side street with 6 pizza boxes around you laying on the ground going.
we're gonna see Big JR. He's gonna have his own Barstool Sports. He's gonna be doing pizza reviews sitting from a scooter.
That's still the only way I'm gonna break it. I'm telling you right now. I'm putting it on here now. If the El Prez wants to eat pizza with me, I'll eat pizza.
That's awesome. I love it. Because you sit there, it's like
or me.
El Prez. He does like one a day, and all of a sudden, John, you've done 35 pizza reviews
in 10 minutes.
Pizzas. It's like you're supposed to only do one bite. Everybody knows the rules, not the whole pie.
Not the whole pie.
Bite 347.
That's funny. All right. Well, question for you. So you did it quick, which is impressive. I mean, and this BS that there's a one-stop shop way to do that. It's just full of crap because there are people that have done the 2 pound a week system, and it took that was for me. It took me 3 years to lose 160. Like I was just a very consistent, that was my philosophy. And you have other people that lose. You got the gourmets and you guys that lose like 160, 200 pounds in a year. It's like, oh shit. Okay, cool. But the big thing there though is like being able to obviously sustain it, and like that is a piece.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. But I would like to know, and I think listeners would too. Obviously, you see the sunshine and rainbows, 14 months, lose all that weight. What were some of the biggest hiccups within that 14 months? Because I mean, there's always stuff whether you pull a muscle or you got friends heckling you on like, hey, you should eat like this. Hey, bro, come on, it's just one slice of pizza. I don't know what it is, but what were some of your biggest challenges during that momentum? Because we all have them.
So luckily, I never really had any injuries. Surprisingly, you know, when you're trying to be that active, that big. But I kind of did just like, my focus was just so sharp that I kind of, I don't want to say became, you know, like alienated myself, but I was just like so honed in on getting that I didn't really go to social gatherings, or like even when I did go out, like you said, whenever there was a football game on and the Dolphins were going to play the Patriots and get killed by 30 points, you know, my cheat would be grilled chicken wings with, you know, hot sauce, which it's like, it's hot sauce, 0 calories, sodium's up there, grilled chicken wings, not the worst thing that you could eat, but still it was like, oh, come on, bro. Like, it's like, calm down.
Right.
Calm down. I know I lost the weight. I know I can eat. This is a choice that I'm making.
Right.
Like, this is still fresh. This is still new to me. I'm not where I am now back then. You know, I wasn't necessarily scared of food. I just wasn't ready to dive right back into it because, like you said, it is a slippery slope. I'm talking baby oil slippery. Right. You know what I mean? One bite could easily lead up to eating the whole damn thing. So, you know, there's no real physical, but, you know, there's a lot of, you know, mental things going from being 480 to being 225 at that time.
Well, because that's so fascinating to me is like, it is wild that, and I always call it like, you get people, you get close friends, you get close family, that there's this subconscious jab that a lot of them do. I experienced it where you're making such a massive shift in your life, and it can easily be portrayed to some people as like, wow, look how great he's doing. Why can't I do it?
Right.
And then what happens is you get these friends and family that jab at you going, oh, come on, don't work too hard, Jeff.
Yeah.
You got to live a little. And that is their way of trying to they don't mean it maliciously, but they jab at you, trying to pull you back because it makes them feel bad that you're doing so good.
Right.
And
then they get jealous.
Yeah. I experienced that quite a bit. Family, friends.
Bro, it goes on in my own house. This is what it is. Honestly, it goes on in my own house. They'll make something and be like, come on, you lost all the weight. You could have it out. No.
Take a bite. Take a bite. Yeah.
No. Would you say the same thing if I was a Coke addict? Would you say the same thing? Oh, just one bump of Coke.
Just do a bump. Come here.
Especially, you know, especially you living in a, you know, huge
Italy.
Italian
I live in Italy.
Household.
Yeah.
You live in Venice. You know what I mean? That was like another thing with me. I'm Cuban, and every meal has rice. Every meal, rice or bread. Like if your meal isn't coming with a slice of
you
right? Hear me? Yeah. You know, if your meal doesn't have Cuban bread or rice, yeah, I don't know is it a vegan Cuban meal? Like I don't know what's going on. That's stupid. Rice and bread is not. Anyways,
it's
but
not gluten free. Damn it.
Exactly. No, but just like my abuela was the sneak disc queen. Like every year, going over there for Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Oh, she'd flop it on your plate.
No, she just gordito. It's like, you know, she'd just be like, wow. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he got bigger. Oh, what a surprise. You know what I mean? But like my grandma.
You're so big. I love you.
Oh. I just see this old little Spanish woman being like, oh, papi.
I can't reach around you, girl. Abuelo, venga. And they both try and hug me. But, you know, just like Italian parents and grandparents, you know what I mean? they want to see you lose weight. They sneak this, but then you clean your plate and they ask if you want more.
Yeah, fact.
It's like, oh my God. Like my mom still does it whenever we go out to eat and I'll clean my plate. She's like, you want any more? I'm like, no, I ordered that for you. I ordered this for me. Good. I'm good.
And that does actually get me because my mom.
Scared. It's just like.
Oh, it cut out of me. So you good?
Ooh, someone froze.
Are we good?
Anyone here?
Hello. 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 Bueller. Bueller.
Why am I the host?
Hello.
So much pressure. Hello.
Are we still
Are
here?
you here? Where are you?
Wait,
Right,
it just got dropped
right,
and then it just started over. I think we're good.
Wait,
now am
did
I
we just
frozen?
lose? No, wait.
No, it still says recording on my screen.
Yeah, now it does on my screen too.
I think we'll be
But
all right.
I'm frozen.
No, you're good.
You're not frozen, but I can't see everyone.
Can
Hold
you-
on. Hold
Can
it.
you see me moving? I can't see me moving.
I can see.
I
You
can't
moving.
see
You're
anybody.
good. Everything's back to normal for me.
See, no, it's not for me. So now, hold on. I got a bitch.
I-
Hold on. Wait,
I could hear you. No,
All
I
right,
could see and hear you.
Intermission.
All right, we're back. All
Titty
right,
dance.
cool.
All right, titty dance, everybody. In intermission.
Porro, can you see everybody?
I see everybody and hear everybody. My picture's just frozen for some reason.
All right, that's
Okay.
fine. You're not frozen on our end though. David, what happened?
All right.
Couldn't tell you. It all of a sudden froze, and then I waited. I didn't want to do anything, and then it dropped everything, and then it said reconnecting, and now we're back.
All right,
I
so
really
what
hope
were
we
talking
didn't. I hope we didn't lose this episode.
I will find out. We'll find out. At least it's not like Dwayne Johnson or some shit. I'm sorry. Sorry for what I'm saying.
about? So we were at the grandparents.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
carbs and stuff. All right.
All right, ready?
Let me know
And
when
a
we're
3,
back.
and a 2, and a... All right, go.
All right. So, what is he doing?
What are you doing? Why
I
does it
got-
look like
I got
you have
baby
no...
arms.
Yeah, where? How?
You don't know this? So if you lean
What are you
back, you
doing?
put your hands back, it looks like you got baby arms.
Yeah, it does from far away. It really does. It looks like you have no elbows at all.
What the shit?
No,
All right. So.
All right, so anyway,
All right, we're back.
Porro's
Right,
grandma used to
right.
call him fat.
All right. So
you a hug.
family events. Food was always there for celebrating like anything. Even if it was just a Friday night dinner, or Sunday gravy or Sunday sauce. You know what I mean? Like food is always there, and like I said, portions, I would finish my plate and then be force fed into another one when I was already full. And it's like, you guys are addressing and sneak this in and saying that I have a problem. You keep feeding me.
Yep.
You keep feeding me. And, you know what I mean? That was just one of the things growing up, and that contributed to getting as big as I did.
Right.
Okay. So all that goes down. So your whole transformation is about 3 years?
I just had my little 3-year weight loss anniversary.
So your heaviest weight of 480. What are you at right now?
Mm-hmm. I am back on to trying to put on a little bit. So I am about 210. I didn't weigh myself this morning, but about 210. And my calories and carbs are back up. And I'm feeling like, honestly, going into this whole quarantine, I was a little worried, you know what I mean? Just because I was losing all my consistency. Like, I'm a creature of habit. Like, wake up 4 a.m., work out 5 a.m., go to work. All my meals are pretty much the same exact thing. There's not much variety, just because I kind of do it as an assembly line. Like, I cook all my rice. I cook whatever meat of the day, if it's going to be shredded chicken in a crock pot or ground beef in a pan. Just boom, 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 because I'm eating, again, bodybuilder diet, like 4 to 5 meals a day. But honestly, like coming out of this quarantine, I know you guys are still stuck, so I'm not going to rub it in at the gym. But just like I've literally come out of this somehow mentally and physically stronger than I was before.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing little things like, you're lucky you got me on camera today. Sunday, I completely disconnect. I delete the apps from my phone, all the social media, and I'm just present. Like I wake up.
Ooh, I like that.
I do a 10-mile walk to the beach, no music, just walking, getting my sun, getting my vitamin D, and then just having those little routines. Like before I got furloughed from my job, I was losing my mind. I was doing workouts in my driveway, and then I was riding my bike for like 30 miles. Like I'm not Lance Armstrong. I was losing my consistency, so I needed to do something to keep moving.
Right.
And so I picked up reading. I haven't read a book. I never thought I would enjoy reading books. Like in grade school, whenever there was summer reading, there was a book to read during school, I would just like Google it, see what happened, and exactly, just see what happened. But now I'm just reading in my downtime, trying to limit, not engagement. Like if people still reach out to me and still have questions, I'll still always be there on the gram, but just limiting my time on the phone and just having those disconnects on Sunday has helped me mentally grow, while focusing on goals that I have that, I'm still working towards. And then again, like I said, I think just taking a little bit of rest from the heavy lifting.
Right.
And like John, you said your arms are looking bigger. You're feeling yourself a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Somehow I went to, and it's nothing to brag about, but somehow I went to the gym the other day and I put up 265 on the bench.
Yep.
My old PR was 245, and I haven't benched in 3-4 months.
Sometimes you just need that break. That's what I've learned. Sometimes your body just needs that break.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
That's how I felt post bodybuilding show. I took some time off and it felt good.
Yeah. And like, there's crazy movements that I don't wish upon anybody in CrossFit. Like one of them is an overhead squat, and just locking out 95 pounds over your head and doing squats. Like that was something that I hated just because mobility, flexibility, right. But just like somehow, some way coming out of this better than I was. And I think long-term that goes beyond just COVID, that goes beyond, it's just growth. And there's one term that, I've been really thinking and harnessing and trying to say in the right way. But I think that anybody, the three of us, multiple people that you're going to have on this podcast, and it doesn't go by a number. Like even if you lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds, if you're in a 200 pound plus club, right. We are all very dangerous people. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in a threatening way. Like, I don't want you to be like, you see me in the gym, don't come up to me, don't bother me, don't ask me a question. But we are all in our own ways very dangerous people, because we have the odds stacked up against us. And you know what I mean? Like if I go into a gym and I have my headphones on, or if there's any physical or mental goal in front of me, and you say, if there's a shadow of the doubt and you think that I can't do it, that you can't do it, just fucking watch. Fucking watch.
No,
and
100%.
I think that's one of the biggest things with people like us who have beaten the odds. Like we were all in that cornfield, in that maze. And while everybody else is just trying to walk around, trying to figure out the way, one of us had a chainsaw or whatever tool you want, and we just fucking found a way.
Right.
Like fuck the odds. Like I'm not a lab, I'm not a lab test rat, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna find my way out of this shit. So that's just like one term that I've had in my head. Like you look in the mirror, you wake up like, I'm a fucking badass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like Pulp Fiction. I need that wallet. But
no, I completely agree there. Cause it's just like, well, it's the classic philosophy of two things. Number one, once the decision is made, you just adapt. You when the decision to live in a healthy and happy, accountable life, you just figure it out. Like I'm using a freaking Total Gym, little roll, like that. I feel like I'm a Chuck Norris out here with this little Total Gym, because that's what I'm working with. And I'm just making it work. Because I've set that standard for myself, number one. And number two, everyone lives in this philosophy. Right now, we live in such a PC culture, such a weak emotional like standpoint, where it's like people think that adversity is bad. Adversity is the greatest thing you can deal with, because when you do triumph, you are so much stronger than you were before. It's like this idea that you wishing life was easier instead of wishing your life was wishing you were better. It's I'm sure all three of us, just like our last podcast we just had, none of us regret our 400 plus pound life.
Yeah.
No, because I don't regret it at all, because it made me so much stronger today.
That's right.
Like I couldn't even imagine if I didn't have that, my life would be pure sunshine and rainbows.
I think my life would be boring as hell.
Like my life would be just sunshine and rainbows. Like, oh, your dad's a heart doctor. Everything's kind of sad. Like, what did you ever do?
Right.
Like I would just still be an emotionally weak kid because I had no real adversity in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I completely agree.
And I think with anything, like, it's not about, being the best or like complacency or anything, but just like stepping up to the plate. Like if John invites me or fucking calls me out to step in the ring, right. I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to like go practice for a week and then go up to New York and, beat him. But I'm just all in. Like if there's a task ahead of me, it's not about being the best. It's just being equipped for battle.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like war.
I got into a fight on Instagram because I put up a poll. Would you rather be the best or would you rather be the hardest worker in the room? And I got a DM that told me that I was absolutely wrong for ever wanting to be the hardest worker in the room, because the best works the most efficiently. And I literally was so mind blown, because I'd rather be the hardest worker in the room every single time than the quote unquote best.
Well, yeah, because everyone how many people are the best?
See?
Because this is the classic misconception that somehow the best means people act like they're the best, but no, the hardest worker is always the best.
Right.
Yeah.
At least more than not.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something that just kind of pissed me the hell off the other day.
Hey, we're just talking, baby. We're just this coffee talking.
So anyway, Porro, I need a little something from you. I need 3 tools that you can give everybody who's listening. Some accountability tools that helped you through your journey. Just a little factoids from Porro.
Well, pretty generic, and you just said it, and it's also the name of your group you have here, is number 1, accountability. If you can't find it within yourself, and you can't find it with your spouse, with your friend, with a parent, just find any form. Like this, my page was never meant to be anything. I don't have a name like J.R. Journey. Fit D-Rock's it's pretty, generic, but you threw fit in there, but like Porro 92, this is my personal page. And I didn't start putting my pictures out there right away. But I was taking progress pictures, and a lot of people, they're afraid to take pictures, and it's like, you don't have to post it, baby. You know what I mean? Just do that shit for yourself. And, even if it doesn't start with getting a trainer, getting a coach, just having that self-accountability, just tracking, which leads me into the next thing, MyFitnessPal, or any type of, meal planning, logging. You know what I mean? If you're keto, there's plenty of keto applications. Use your phone. If you're not using your phone already, I mean, I don't know how you're watching this. I mean, maybe you're on your computer, but it is 2020. Use your phone, use these resources, use us, use all these different apps out there. Like I said, there's ones for keto to maintain your, your ketones and your carbs and all that stuff. There's different workout programs, build a better booty plans, whatever it is. Use those outside tools. And then 3 kind of goes along with accountability, but just work on your mental mindset before your physical transformation. because if you're not dialed in, like if this is just an idea, like I think I want to lose weight, and I think we've had this conversation before, is I get a lot of DMs about the loose skin and about having cheat meals. It's like, don't focus on that shit yet. Like, just start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're scared to lose weight because loose skin, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick, it's not going to work out for you.
Oh, yeah.
And it might work out for you, and it might not work out. If it does work out for you, come back at me and be like, hey, look what I did. And that's great. All the power. I want to see you win. But if you have that mindset where you're just like, oh, when can I get my first cheat? Like, you've been cheating all your damn life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we could get a number on the calories that any of us consumed, that's more numbers than Jeff Bezos has in his account. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So just grow in that mental mindset where you have to be ready for this shit. Like, it's lifestyle. You have to be all in, and there's going to be plenty of days where you're going to feel like the world is against you, where your family's against you, where your friends are against you, where your own mind is against you. But just having that mental, like, okay, this is what the fuck I want. I'm going to do it. Nothing's going to stop me. You know what I mean? Just having that mindset, just going all in. That's number 3.
Love it. And last question. If you could go back in time and talk to 12-year-old Porro, who has no idea what the hell life has in front of him, he's run on the football field like a giant blueberry, what would you tell him? Which is my favorite photo of all time, by the way.
The baby, how I love how my baby blue, the whole uniform is supposed to be royal blue, but the pants baby blue because I'm thick. Triple C thick. So specifically towards me, 12-year-old me, one, put that cookie down in the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. And you know what I mean? I don't want to say like just start now, fatty.
Right.
But just be like, if I could talk to the 12-year-old me, it's just be like, I hope you're ready. It's time to fucking take the wheel because it's going to be a bumpy ride. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in the butterfly effect. Everything happens for a reason, but just be ready. Small things that you could have changed will, come a long way. So, just be ready and, you know what I mean? Make better choices.
Love it. I feel like there was a lot of really good gems dropped on this episode.
100%.
How do you feel, David?
No, I think it was a great episode. One of the things, especially with number 3, that I'd love to just kind of compound on is like, people ask the same question. I'm literally in the same place. I know within a very, very good notion that if someone comes at me with the first statement being some kind of scarcity position, like, what am I going to do when I lose 150 pounds and have excess skin removal surgery, or when can I have my first cheat meal? If they're already coming from a position of scarcity, I'm like, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work because you're focusing on the wrong things. And so I completely agree.
Right. You were about cutting out again.
Yeah, I'm getting goofy as well.
We're good.
Yeah, it says right on my thing, your internet connection's a little unstable. Whatever.
All right, Porro, where can people find you? And tell us about your merch really quick.
So you can find me on the gram at Porro92, and then also you got me. Well, Gormy got me because I can't have a 47-year-old man have a TikTok and not me. So I have a TikTok too, at Porro92. I haven't quite figured it out. And TikTok, if you're listening, can we please put natural on the available songs, please and thank you. And then the merch, I have a couple shirts that will be dropping. I think I should be getting them next week. So stay tuned on my page, Porro92, and I will let you guys know. And just stay hungry. You know what I mean? That's the merch. Hungry.
Awesome. Thank you for coming today, brother. I really appreciate the convo.
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure.
It was fun.
It was a pleasure, fam. And until next time, stay accountable.
Stay accountable always.